Hey, what's up everyone? So I kind of have this problem where I buy way too much stuff on Kickstarter, and I wanted to start this series where I take a look at things that I have purchased and I want to call it Kickstarter Trash or Packs. Now, a lot of the products I get on Kickstarter are actually really good and I've had great experiences with them. You kind of get to be on the bleeding edge of technology, but then there's occasionally those ones where you either get scammed and you never receive a product, and then there are those like the View where, you know, shipping takes a long time, you end up getting it eventually, but you might not be so pleased with it. So I wanted to kick off this series with the View that I'm wearing here and kind of take a look at it and let you know what I think. So the View, which comes in this case here, is the first product I want to start the series off with. Now, the View did take a long time to come to market. I think it was pushed back almost a year from the Kickstarter original kind of production date. I've been using the View for about 6 months now, and this is kind of an ideal scenario here. It's pretty sunny over there, you can probably tell, but they make ones that you can have with prescription lenses. So I wear glasses, but only under certain situations, like when it's nighttime and I need to drive. I don't typically regularly wear them, so that's why I ended up going with the actual lenses, because I figured I'd get more use out of them, and if I didn't like the product and wanted to resell them, it's a much easier sell than to sell something with a prescription. Also, I'm not really sure how easy it is to, you know, get lenses cut for these glasses. So that's basically why I chose this style. Now, going into the case, immediately it does feel pretty cheap right away. You can hear from this tinny plastic here, and just the general build quality. It doesn't even stay open if you kind of crack it. I believe there is a battery probably under here in this area, right here. And not to mention, putting the glasses in the case, there's a specific orientation. So if you see the charging ports, you do need to put it in with the charging port on the bottom so that the contact touches when you throw it back in the case. And that can be very tricky. There's a specific way you have to kind of wedge it into the case, and it doesn't really hold. There have been countless times when I've opened the case, taken the glasses out, put them on, and the battery's just completely dead. A piece of technology is only as good as its battery, and if it's dead, it's useless. On the plus side though, they are still glasses, so you can wear them without the smart feature and still use them, I guess, but not really the purpose of a pair of smart glasses, right? The next thing, and I'll take them off here so you can see, is these bone conduction pieces. They do jut out a little bit, so they kind of press into the side of your head here. On the plus side, I do really like that they added the USB-C charging, you know, relatively quick charging, definitely the way going forward. The ring around here will actually illuminate when it is charging, which is kind of a cool little touch they have there. And then the case also has that built-in battery I told you, which can charge it about, I think, another 2 to maybe 3 times. But that being said, it is pretty bulky. Just a large kind of case. Could be tough to fit into like a jacket or something like that. Now, getting into the use case of these, I think that is actually almost the more difficult part to piece together. If you look in the app, it tracks your step count, but nowadays, you know, pretty much anything can do that. My phone does it, my Fitbit does it, which I always have on me, and I don't need to charge as frequently. So I was kind of disappointed when I learned that if I was using it for like biking or running perhaps, there's not the ability to start an activity in it, so you can't track any exercise stats, literally just a step counter. Not to mention that I've had instances where I put them on, they say they're connected to my phone, I play audio, and nothing comes through. So I don't really know what's going on there. Even disconnecting and reconnecting was kind of tricky, didn't really work. Even now, they're not connected to my phone. They do normally give you an audible, phone connection kind of pairing in the bone conduction mics when you do connect. But right now that is not the case, and I don't really know why. Sometimes throwing it back in the case, giving it a little charge, and then putting it back on will fix the issue. But this is the type of thing where it's, you're in a grab and go situation. You're like, oh, I want to put on my glasses. Okay, I throw them on, boom, it should be connected, and I go. You shouldn't have to be thinking about pairing it. Not to mention the touch controls on the side can be a little finicky sometimes. I feel like they're hypersensitive, so sometimes if I go to adjust my glasses, it can cause issues, and I can skip a track or activate the voice assistant by accident. To be honest, struggled to find a lot of positives with this. To make matters worse, the bone conduction mics are like literally terrible. They sound super tinny. The maximum volume is probably 40% of what you would want your maximum volume to be. And not to mention the tinniness nature of it means that you're getting mostly treble. The mids and bass of any sort of audio is just completely lackluster and almost non-existent. I can't imagine trying to, hold a long phone call or listen to some of your favorite music on this. It's just not great, And on top of that, I've gone on 1.5 hour long bike rides, and by the end of the 1.5 hours, it was either very close to dead, and one time I even had to die. So battery life on standby is actually pretty good, but for me, the standby feature of this is kind of irrelevant because, as I told you, I'm using them as sunglasses. If I'm using them as sunglasses, I might want the music in, and I'm not using them passively, for step count notifications or receiving a call or something like that. It's more for short bursts that I'm using the glasses. If you had them with the lenses, okay, maybe that's understandable because you want a longer kind of lifespan for the battery, just for those small notifications. But as it stands, over time really kind of wear on the side of your head here. So guys, as I mentioned, if it weren't for me purchasing these on Kickstarter, I definitely would have returned them. I'm struggling to find anything positive to say about them right now. I know the View Lite is out, so perhaps I'll look at those. I don't want to be too negative because this company is a Kickstarter product and I backed them, I helped them. I really hope that they can figure it out in the future. Maybe I'll revisit, the second generation of these or something like that to see if they have improved. If you'd like to see me review maybe like the Bose glasses, I know those are pretty cool, or perhaps you have another suggestion, leave them in the comments. I'll take a look at it. I hope this was helpful if you were considering getting these. I really don't think it's worth the money, and these, for this first episode, are going to go in the hard trash category, unfortunately. But stay tuned for the next one, and I'll see you guys soon.